And I would argue something really, really, really important, that if it costs money, it costs money, but either way it has to happen. You have to set up tracking. You have to set up tracking, right? If you can't improve what you don't measure. And so how do you know you're getting better if you're not tracking those things?
Well, we're making good progress. We're on to our last question, Nate. You've done good. You've done very, very well. This one's the hardest one of them all.
This one's going to hurt the worst.
This comes from Bethany. She works at an urgent care clinic in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and she asks, what is the best use of my marketing dollars when it comes to online marketing? We know that there are only 4 billion different ways to market and promote a business, and there's 2 billion of those that are online on the internet somehow, some way. So when the question comes, which one of all these choices do I choose? What are your thoughts?
You know, maybe this might be the most broad question we've been asked. And so that also means there's probably 4 billion different ways we could answer it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that I'm probably going to give you a little bit of opinion. I don't know if what I'm saying is going to be completely factual, but it's based on what I've experienced over the last 15 years. But I think the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is it ultimately that you want to accomplish? And how can you make it so that whatever marketing objectives that you have, or whatever mission you're on, how does that help you reach the end goal? When we're strategizing with clients, one of the things that we like to do is say, what do we want to accomplish? Is it to just build revenue? Is it to build traffic? Are we building engagement? Are we trying to improve your brand? What is it that we want to do? And once we figure out what the end goal is, we try and reverse engineer what the steps might look like from where we are today to what that end goal could be down the road. That helps us to determine how much money we should spend, where we should spend it, what kinds of activities and tasks we want to accomplish. So I'm going to bring up a couple of different pieces, but I mean, if you are asking a question like, where's the best use of my dollars for online marketing? Maybe I come to an incorrect assumption, or maybe it's not too far off, that you're kind of at the beginning of your marketing journey. Maybe your website's new, or maybe your brand is new, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, good.
So,
good thought.
But I don't think that in any case, whether you're Sony or Toyota or Best Buy or the NBA, everybody can use branding help. And so I don't think you can go wrong by working on your branding. Okay. And so when you first ask yourself, what is it that you want to accomplish? Think about what the brand message needs to be, and how that's going to help be the end result. But then what is going to connect those dots from where we are now to the end? And I would argue something really, really, really important, that if it costs money, it costs money, but either way it has to happen. You have to set up tracking. You have to set up tracking, right? If you can't improve what you don't measure. And so how do you know you're getting better if you're not tracking those things? So that's a little wink, wink. Get some tracking set up if you don't have it already. But there's 3 ways that it could happen, right? Way number 1 is social media is really a great way to make a brand introduction. In fact, I don't even know of a better way to get your brand out there than through social channels.
Right.
And we were talking about this, in fact, just in a meeting with a client the other day, asking about social media and where do things stand in, September of 2021 or the latter half of 2021. And as it sits right now, the top social media platforms where you're going to get traction really quickly, regardless of who you are, is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Those are the areas where you can produce information, and you're going to get some things happening because there's a very good audience, very good traffic at those places. But social media is designed not to be the end all be all for digital marketing. It's just where people play. That's where people play, whether it's personal or it's business. That's where people play. So social media is an invitation to learn more. So keep that in mind. I would also argue that there is valid use of budget to go towards SEO. And SEO can mean so many different things, but I'm talking very specifically in this scenario with content marketing. And content marketing could be what you write, what images or graphics you come up with, or what videos you're putting together. Content marketing is awesome. Additionally, help with links and link building and link acquisition. And SEO really helps people, I think, with two particular areas. One is when they're researching a topic or researching a brand or researching a company. If you have that information and Google makes the suggestion to list you wherever they do for a search query, and you get that click, you're sort of slowly earning their trust and their potential that they could become a customer or a patient or a client, whatever the case may be. And then the other piece, so not only besides research, but the other piece is that when we're able to pull them from social media or from other places and they're on your website, you have 100% control of the messaging. Take advantage of that. Hopefully it's distractionless, right? Like maybe you're scrolling through your Facebook feed and you see an ad for Zappos shoes and right next to your engineering firm practice, but somebody may be paying attention to the Zappos and then thinking something as they're scrolling past your post or your ad or what have you. But if we can get them to your website, those distractions are removed. And then one other area that might be worth looking into is paid search. Whether that's, and paid search in this case might be like in Google or in Bing, running pay-per-click ads. People who are in pay-per-click ads, you can appeal to the right kinds of people depending on where they are in their customer / buyer's journey. And it tends to be, pay-per-click tends to be, not always, at the bottom end of the funnel when they're about ready to make a decision. So it might be a smaller percentage of traffic, but people who are ready to make buying or decisions, choices, are people who will interact with pay-per-click. And so typically pay-per-click has a little bit better action with people who are ready to make that engagement, whatever that might look like. And if you're asking people correctly with the right kind of call to action, then you should be able to get those people rather quickly. As long as their ads and where you're taking to them on your landing pages are set up correctly. So, but I think that's where I would probably start. After you've done those things for a while, you'll know what's working and what's not working, especially if you're doing tracking. And then it's easy to say, well, I spent this much money in these different areas. This is working way better than this one. It might make sense to continue to put more budget towards the thing that is working.
I love that. That's so smart. There's a couple of things that I also think about when it comes to where the best place for your marketing dollars online. You'll never ever go wrong if you are just paying attention to your customers. If your customers are like older senior citizens, then where are older senior citizens online? Where do they go? If your audience or if your customers are primarily moms and families and kids, then where are the moms online? So when you ask yourself those kinds of questions, where are my customers? Where online are they? That starts giving you the answers of the kinds of platforms and the locations to be. The other one that's very obvious and very basic that I think everybody needs to be focused on is email. It's free, and the return on your investment for email communication to your existing customers is huge. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, a couple other additional thoughts there, but that's awesome. Well, I'm kind of noticing a little bit of a theme in our questions today. Ethan asked, how do I know the topics that people are searching for online? Other one was, how do we make our Facebook or social media posts more engaging? And where's the best place for our marketing dollars online? So there's kind of a theme there that it's kind of been interesting to hear your thoughts and your opinions on today. So, well, that's great. Well, we are out of questions for today. I don't know
if we're out of questions, but we're out of time.
Out of time, not out of questions. So, and on that note, if you've enjoyed our conversation today, if it's been helpful for you, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and most importantly, post your questions down below so that we can get those. And as you know, we use those questions every single week to answer in our conversations together. So great to be with you guys. Keep up the good work. Nate, any final words of wisdom for our audience today before we sign off? Any other comments?
I don't think I have anything additional today.
All right.
I'm tapped.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Take good care. Bye-bye.